Changes
Hands
angle
from
there.
Nathan,
Nice,
big
nice
left
kick.
Here comes Jordan,
Jordy come back with those hands again.
Yo, your boys are back. How
Good
are you?
afternoon.
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm tired.
straight off the bus.
Yeah, man. I've been running around a little bit, but I live for the 15 people who listen to this show, so I'm
That's
here. I'm
right.
here in the seat.
That's right. One day you're up 18K. Next week you're down to 70.
Yeah, we were up, down. That's the podcast
Okay,
life.
hey, look, we got a 1K. Maybe we'll spike up again. Everyone just cares about one.
Yeah. You see, people like Littewada as much as they like Superbond.
Yeah, true.
I do.
Well, that's it. Well, like, then again, it's like two tires versus each other. Does that change up the dynamic a bit as well? We'll find out.
Remains to be seen.
Get in the comment section. All right. So, yeah, there's coming a lot of like international stuff this week.
Pretty big week. Like,
it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
And like really, really good fights as well.
great fights.
Yeah. So, like, first off the bat from here. So, in the UK, we had Liam Nolan versus the very dominant WBC world
The
champion.
king.
Yossef
The king, yeah.
Boughanem.
Where did they actually fight? Did they fight in Belgium?
I'm not too sure of the location. But I think it was at least a Europe show. I thought it was UK, but could definitely be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, I don't know. I would imagine was probably, I think it was like on was it like Yossef's home show? I actually don't know where this fight was. He was in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, so it was like a 5-round fight. They went to split decision to Nolan's way.
Yeah.
From there. But how did you reckon the fight actually, like, how did it play out when you were watching it?
Oh, this is what I wanted to talk about this fight. Like, or not about the fight itself. It's like last week was a massive combat sports weekend. And I think Liam Nolan and Yossef was the Sunday.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know. But like I watched a lot of fights last weekend. I was watching like screen and screen. I watched the UFC. I was a team player. Yeah. Yeah.
just filthy casual jumping in.
I didn't watch all of it. But because it was on screen and then the pub that I was at decided it's too much, right? Like you like said they would do like the sports bar would play the UFC and the lounge would play the boxing. So I watched that Chandler and Gagey fight, and then they flipped it to the Canelo fight. And then that wrapped up just in time for the end of the UFC. But anyway, like it's a big day of combat sports, right? Massive, like to see, and like you've got like one's at the MGM Grand, but one's at the MGM Grand and one's at Madison Square Garden, and these just two like incredible shows. And you know, like I'm at a local pub having a meal, and like there's the ability to watch both of them. And then the next day, there is a fight that within our sport is kind of a similar stature. You know, like a very dominant champion in Yossef Boughanem getting upset by. An established and a very strong competitor, but I would still say any time a guy like Yossef loses, it's an upset. The only way to watch that fight was like some fucking bootleg corner Instagram live stream. Like I haven't seen this fight on like proper cameras and stuff yet at all. So like I just was watching it the next day, like on the train to work, like just shit ass.
You can just like, you know, sometimes especially when it's like where it's pitches, you might be getting like half the story.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, like it was a good fight and a really good performance by Liam Nolan.
Yeah,
like I haven't really seen, and like it's not often that you see someone. I think Yossef was frustrated in this fight. Like Nolan was moving very nicely, counter kicking beautifully, just like really kind of putting the exclamation mark on a lot of good exchanges. But like it just sucks to be in Muay Thai sometimes when like one day after watching like such an incredible combat sports day just like presented so well, and it's so easy to watch and available to them, see like something as crazy as Yossef losing. And like it's just atmosphere is really important in atmosphere could be the wrong word. Like I think when something incredible happens in combat sports, like you remember where you were. Yeah. Like you think about like iconic moments, and a big part of that is like how it's presented, whether you're live in the venue or you're able to go and watch it somewhere. Like I can think back to whether it's MMA or boxing, big fights. Like when I think of the big fights, Mayweather and Pacquiao, or like, you know, McGregor and Alvarez. Like, off the top of my head, I remember where I was when I saw both of those. I remember the environment. And it was one of those days with the Canelo fight and Usman versus Covington. Like, they were both big events, like events that generate some atmosphere, and like that helps a lot to grow a sport, because like it's the whole nature of a casual fandom, is people can kind of get swept up in like everything that like there's more than just what happens in the ring or the cage to a fight. Whereas it's like in Muay Thai, it's always been this way. Any like long time Muay Thai fan listening to this will understand, like, you're just chasing down shitty quality, scratchy ass, like, you know, especially, look, it's gotten better. It's got better, right? When there's a big fight, like a one card, we're going to talk about a one card shortly. You can watch it. It's not massive. It's not on at your local pub, but it, you know, you can find it.
Yeah, it's probably like the best platform for Muay Thai for, like, you know, just like for general people to find.
But to me, I'm also like, I think about, you know, Liam Nolan. That's a massive moment, and to not really have, you know, because I saw posts from people in the UK, where's the stream for this? And people are like, oh, and someone's in the comment, and I went and found it.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments, oh, I'm going to live stream it from the corner on Instagram.
So saying that there wasn't a proper stream.
Yeah, what are you talking about? And this is it. Like, you know, we're lucky in Australia. We've got some big, very professional shows. Like when Rebellion's on, when Rogue Muay Thai is on, when SAEMPETCH is on, even like the middle tier shows now, they're all available to be streamed. Like, but then I don't understand how in 2021, whatever year it is, I'm pretty sure it's 2021, like, you can have a world title fight and just like, nah, there's no stream for this one, sorry. What's the logic?
That's it. It's like, it doesn't sell? Is that what you're trying to say?
Look, that's like, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I feel like it's one of those things, like, how do I kind of explain this? It's going to take some time as a consistently available product to start selling. That's I think, like we've talked a lot about, like, what would it take to gather some popularity for like an online Muay Thai platform. Consistency is a big part. Like, that's probably one of the issues, is like, I would imagine, when like you put on the odd kind of sporadic show and you're really trying to just sell people, the product here is Yossef versus Liam, you're probably not going to sell a ton of pay-per-views. Like, what it would take to do to start to actually make it, like live streams in Muay Thai don't make any money. That's not a secret. Like, it's a way to kind of open the door to people outside of the kind of area that a fight is in, that are still, it's still like, it's something that is for friends and family. It's not like, but I always think like you're losing a chance to gain some consistency and some traction. I guess when people don't think of it, you've got to change people's perception a little bit. Like, people are like, okay, I can either go to that show or I can not see it. A fight like Liam Nolan versus Yossef is a really good example of a fight that will just keep Muay Thai where it is in that sense.
Yeah.
Because people like, until people understand it as something that they can see regardless, where they have, but then like we've talked about this at length, so I won't talk about it again, is like, maybe there does need to be, you know, some kind of network of the big promotions in the world where like you're not just paying on like a per, you know, tuning in to, like there's just one spot where it's like, if there's a big fight on, it's there. That would probably be something that we would need. But then I guess like the other side of that is like, all the big fights from Thailand now are pretty readily available for free.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
So like, it's difficult. Like, that's the disconnect as well between like, you've got like the elite international shows and the elite Thai shows. It's not like there's like a lot of kind of intimate. It's not like there's one kind of league where you can find all of the top 10 guys in the world competing with each other, like that you could just house under one umbrella.
It's kind of that splintering off.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of sanctions, lots of different promotions from there. But it's just hard. Like, it's the only kind of chance. Well, UFC Fight Pass we're putting on Muay Thai shows. I don't have it anymore, so I'm not too sure. But they were trying to just.
I still have it. I haven't watched it since 1983. I don't know why I still have it.
But it's trying to trying to be they try to made themselves for a bit.
Yeah.
As just where you watch as combat.
Yeah,
sports.
and it Lion Fight is still on there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I kind of got sidetracked a bit there, but I feel for a dude like as a Muay Thai fighter, I feel for a guy like Liam Nolan to go and unseat the middleweight king, maybe the best middleweight ever.
Yeah.
One of the most dominant, especially Western fighters of the last decade. Have a beautiful performance against him as well, and then just what? No one's it's not like you can. It's not like all your mates are back at home watching in the local pub or something. It's not just that it's not on the big screen; it's that it's not even fucking on.
Yeah.
It's on an Instagram live.
Well, yeah, even on YouTube, if you go find it, you'll find it. But it's I think Fight Record put it up, and it's just the corner cam though. Still.
Yeah, they just took and look, Shouts to Fight Record. That's a really good platform.
Yeah,
a great site. And they do a really good job of, kind of like we talk about. It's just consolidation, what Muay Thai has lacked. Look, I hate even talking about this because it gets talked about so much. But what Muay Thai has lacked over the years is just any kind of consistent platform, a place where okay, if I want to watch that, I will open up this website and it will probably be there. And there are people doing a lot of really good work. Fight Record's one of them.
Yep.
But again, mostly for the UK scene, which is a good scene, so that's cool.
It is a great scene.
But yeah, I feel bad to know that that's Liam Nolan's world title moment. You know what I mean? It'd still be incredible.
Goes unnoticed.
Yeah, going to Yossef's home show and unseat him and really was a very classy performance. Look, I got what I needed to get from the Instagram live, but it wasn't something that's really going to kind of project this moment.
Yeah, it's not going to shoot Muay Thai further up the ladder.
And just it's just you want to get eyes on moments like this. I think that is probably one of the things that holds us back as a sport as well. Is it's difficult to gather context for what is an incredible show-stopping kind of moment, which is what that was. Because if I show someone who's never seen Muay Thai, you wouldn't believe this. One of the best fighters of this era hasn't lost in however long, just lost his world title, and then can I see? Yeah, this is a corner cam.
And they go, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not. I'm sure it'll come out, but it's not a great way to show. I'm sure there's some professional film of this somewhere, and it'll get out. But it's you want to highlight.
Well, I felt even this way, of course, the streaming wasn't there, but also no build up. It's I just kind of go, so he fought. Oh, let me have a look at it. There was no build up and no story started that it didn't even start to get built. There was no story.
And I mean, I get it. It's just the reality of it is these things are lacking because there are no fans to pay attention. But it's I feel these are the ones that it's a missed opportunity because people around the world know who Yossef is and they know who Liam Nolan is too. So, I mean, again, you're asking people it takes investment. No, the show was full. They would have made their money on
if you're going to put the money down to have a world title, WBC world title, wouldn't you go just that a little bit extra?
I mean, yeah, and I don't know, I can't comment on how the availability of resources and things like that, which is important. But I just feel you've got some power when you've got guys of not just the caliber of Liam Nolan and Yossef, but if there's a casual Muay Thai fan base, I don't really even know if there is. I feel you're in or you're out sometimes. You know what I mean? But you go around a gym of people that don't watch it I watch. It's nothing to say when I look at a fight and I've heard of the dudes. I'm pretty well across what's going on. But I feel you go to any gym and all the guys training kind of know who Yossef is. Yeah, and Liam Nolan's he's got that one championship experience. He's quite a popular dude as well. That's a fight that you can kind of try to take and promote to because you've got the name value to leverage. It's not like you're trying to build up and make the wider audience care about people they've never heard of, which is that's a very difficult promotional task. That's what like sort of the UFC does really well, is they tell a story and they introduce you to someone. When you've got the name value there, like are you going to gain a lot of traction on promotional work? Maybe not. But if there's a fight that you're going to, that's a good example of it. And it's just sort of like, yeah, I feel bad that you have that moment of, and I mean, it gets, at the end of the day, it's the moment is the same. It's the task. The job's still done. It was an incredible thing to watch for Liam Nolan. For someone like me, it's very exciting, but it's difficult to, like, these are the moments that can get people involved. And it's not really like I guess what I'm saying here is like, this is a very exciting thing for someone who knows the sport and knows the situation very well. But it's not. It's the kind of moment in other combat sports that brings other people in, like allows them to get swept up in something, and like there's just nothing. No, it's kind of grim.
That's right, Liam. You're our boy.
Yeah,
that's the main thing,
congratulations, Liam. Well done. And I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens next. I didn't talk about the fight that much. So much as just my nonsense, but interesting to see what's next for Yossef, because I'm pretty sure he said this is the last year of his career. So
was he 31 now? And he's like, you know, good
31.
31. Yeah,
they kind of thought he was older. I don't know.
He's been in the game for a long time. Like, I think undefeated in Muay Thai rules since 2015.
Yeah. Okay. So and like he's a Terminator, an absolute Terminator. And had some incredibly high level fights. So interested. Look, I could be making this up, but I thought I saw him post at the start of this year. I'm having one more year, and then stepping away. So, I mean, what is it? It's November now. Is that it for Yossef? Have we got more Yossef? I hope we got a little bit more, but
a little bit more.
I'm a big Yossef fan.
Yeah, especially like the year that we had. Like, I think everyone, like, you know, put on stop again. So, yeah, backdated a little bit Yossef.
Yeah. Well, I mean, things been opener there. He's fought a couple of times. So he fought Nicholas Larson not that long ago. Nicholas had to replace. It was going to be Liam Nolan then as well. So, yeah, he was trying to back a couple up, and I was pretty sure I saw him post. I think it would have been translated as well, so it could be wrong. But I thought I saw him post, I'm having one more year and calling it. So I know he's had a lot of fights. He probably is coming towards the end. So interesting to see what happens next.
Crack a fight, go have a watch of it.
Yeah, good fight. Fight record, YouTube.
Yes.
Liam Nolan versus Yossef. Just write Yossef.
Don't
worry.
I'll try and put in the I'll try and put in the description for you guys. If I remember.
Don't try to spell blogging them.
All right, so let's just go to the one event that just happened for us just last night.
It was really good, huh?
Yeah, fuck. It was great fights. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the MMA was great too. I did not see 1 second of it.
Nah, it's like I kind of got rushed a little bit because, look, I'll be honest, I don't watch the MMA one. Everyone knows this as well. It's like I like MMA, but the one's like a lot to be desired.
But this is the thing I think about, like, because we got some comments both positive and negative about me saying that one was way better on the First Strike card because they got rid of the MMA. That is like, I think the biggest thing. This is because I've been thinking about this since I said that. Is that like, again, like I will casually watch MMA too. It's not my favorite thing. Like I say this all the time, Money. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I used to like it a lot more than I do now, but I don't mind it. Just like I don't mind. I'll watch any combat sport. Yep. But like I think the thing when you turn on a one card is like MMA is everywhere. Yep. Like you know what I mean? So when you turn on a one card, it's cool to be watching high level Muay Thai and kickboxing in that kind of big show sort of format. There is nowhere else to see it. It's not just a matter of quality, and the quality of MMA one is pretty shit. It's not just a matter of quality. It's a matter of like, I'm watching one for something different.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like turning onto like the crappy MMA fights in between the Muay Thai and kickboxing. That's a big part of where.
Well, that's like even this, like before, remember when one was ONE FC?
Yes.
Like, did you even watch any of it before they have the Super Series?
You tell me you didn't watch Tim Sylvia versus Andre Arlovsky 5? Or Bob Sapp?
Bob Sapp. No, it must have slipped my mind.
I was living for it. Yeah. Melvin Manhoff was popular, I think.
Oh, was he?
I think Melvin.
My memory must be short, man, because I don't remember any one MMA fight.
I'm pretty sure. I'm at least 50% sure everything I just mentioned is something that actually happened.
Most likely.
I think like Shinya Aoki was the guy, right?
Well, I guess when like Pride folded in like in the Sengoku, and then like Rise is there, but it's like I guess it was the other outlet, wasn't it? It was just in that in the Asian area.
I mean, there were some real dudes, right? Like Bibiano Fernandez.
Yep.
Gustavo Falcaroli. He was he was busy, like
down in Melbourne there.
Yeah,
yeah, nice.
There was some that's just this resident MMA expert me. Like, there was some
Back
real
in the day.
there was some real shit going on over there. But yeah, I agree. Like, I don't think one has had that kind of. They transitioned a lot around about the time that they introduced the Super Series, so it's been quite different. But again, like 90% of the people I speak to in a non-work setting are Muay Thai fans. So I can say I've heard way more about one since they introduced the Super Series, but like I'm in a little bit of an echo chamber perhaps. But I do think they've gained even in the wider combat sports scene, it's the Super Series that's bringing new eyes in. I don't think heaps of people, I don't think tons of people out, like they have a lot of fans within Asia that really like their MMA. Like they've got some superstars, but like as far as like the Western audiences, I really feel like it's the Super Series bringing people in.
Yeah, I feel that as well. Definitely.
Because I feel like I have like a close enough idea of what people are talking about in MMA circles, and it's not like anyone's ever like super jacked for Brandon Vera fighting in one championship.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like that. But I think it might be different circles. Never know.
Yeah, like maybe again, I genuinely don't know. Like maybe the MMA guys are sometimes like super excited for some. I don't think so. But.
And like I think just like UFC's just got such a monopoly as well. It's just like it just takes up most of the conversation.
But like the UFC has such a monopoly that even the bottom end of the UFC is kind of shit now.
Yeah.
So like when you're going outside the UFC, like there's not much to watch.
Yeah, there's been a few of those kind of like I don't know, fight night kind of style cards, or like the free cards you get on ESPN, where it's like the headlines go, I don't know any of these guys. Yeah. Oh well. So on to the next one. All right, so let's just go into some of the matches that happened at one. So the starting off match from there, we had Han Zi Hao versus Victor Pinto.
This was a good fight.
Yeah, ended up being a unanimous decision win to Hao from there. But like going into the fight itself, super action-packed fight.
Yeah, great fight. Like Han Zi Hao impressed me here.
Yeah,
he had a very strong first.
It's like it's very Han Zi Hao style. Like just like hard out the gate, straight off the bat.
Yeah, it worked for him though. I can see. I think I've noticed recently. Like I thought Victor Pinto, for whatever reason, and we've talked about this before, has been kickboxing a bit more. Like I think his fights in one. He was in Glory for a while.
Yes.
And then he came over to one, and he was still kickboxing. Like he fought Adam Noy in a kickboxing fight. Struggled with the hard start from the thing with Victor Pinto is like he's so like classically Thai style. I think him and his brother have both been in Thailand since they were little kids.
Yeah, since kids.
Yeah, they're basically Thais, as far as their way they're raised in sport. So like when that hard start in the 3-round format, I think the gloves troubled him a little bit. Like Han Zi Hao was putting hands on him really nicely. Dropped him hard.
Yeah.
In that first round.
He did. He's like just barreled him against the fence and just clipped him with, I think, like a right hand and then into a left hand coming down.
Yeah, it was nice. I thought even maybe the way Han Zi Hao was pushing it there, it was going to be over. But then, fair play. Like, see, I've had a few, like, he's been a little bit inconsistent over the last few years, has Victor, because he's a very good technician. I thought he started to look a little bit more himself from the second round, because he got an 8 count.
Yeah,
early in the second.
Han Zi Hao went for the low kick, and then while he was bringing the kick back, Victor just went with the left hook and just
cheeky lead hook. I liked that. Well, I thought that was a little bit more of a flash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Han Zi
Just
Hao
Han Zi kind of popped.
bounced right back up. Like I thought Victor went down hard when he got knocked down. And like it was a perfectly good knockdown, but not a flash in the sense that you would have continued the action. But I thought he recovered much quicker. But then like Victor had a really good second round.
Yeah, it's like just kind of finding the kicks a bit more. He was using them more like that, very shelled up guy, like also to try and block for elbows a lot. Yeah. But then I think he adapted a little bit more for the punching.
Yeah, I think it was almost a little bit more like once he kind of got that understanding a little bit better, like he almost started doing his guard like hands on the head like that. Like just not really bother with the gloves, just use like so just make a shell and sit under the whole arm, which worked because then he was carrying kicks quite well. Third was a little bit closer, and then kind of towards the end, Victor, I would have thought, kind of snagged it. He landed a pretty good high kick.
Yeah.
And then the went to the decision, and Victor was very upset, and I understand why. But at the same time, like I really didn't like. I really didn't like.
Here it goes.
I really did not like Victor dancing.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, like.
Well, it was just like I remember talking about it from there. Close fight.
Yeah.
3 rounds.
Knockdown each.
And then you're going to take your foot off the gas pedal.
But this is it, like, because we talk about, it gets talked about a bit, I know, I don't think we spoke about it, but it was spoken about a lot after Yodwich's last fight in France, when he had basically decided he won in the 5th and not really tried to do a whole lot. It's a similar story, right? Like we get that they do it in the stadiums, and even like we spoke about, I think we touched on, like they're starting to penalise this in the stadiums because it's happening too much. It's not super entertaining, but it's also like if you go to a Thai stadium fight, even like a more of an action stadium like Channel 7, they're quite obliging with it. Like one fighter will concede defeat and the other will kind of take his win, and they'll both kind of step back and sort of just dance around and like, okay, like there's no more fighting to be done there. But like this is very, very different. And even the Yodwicha example is kind of different again, because Yodwicha, I thought, although he was sort of dancing the fight off, I still would have given him that round because he was moving away, but still kind of scoring and not really allowing. Who did he fight? I'm just completely
Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy Vigneault, yeah. And not allowing him to get any work done and kind of landing counter kicks and stuff. Whereas this is an example of like Victor had decided he was done fighting and he was just going to protect his lead, but he was still getting punched in the head.
Han Zi Hao was not accepting the dance.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because there's one thing, you see this a lot. Like I've been at Channel 7 heaps of times when the guys both kind of go, I've won, and the other guy thinks he's won, and no one wants to take the risk, so they kind of just pace around each other and don't do a whole lot, and then it's a draw, and then you go, all right, you were set on yourself winning, and you rolled the dice, and it didn't work. This is not that. This is like Victor's just gone, I'm going to run. It was like he was just going to run away.
Yeah,
which I think, again, there's a pretty good argument for him winning the fight. I'm ignoring who you thought won or whatever. It's more that you don't know. It's a 3-round fight. You don't have any time to waste. You're going to try land a kick and then take.
And you both knocked each other down.
Yeah, and it's very like it's like we talk about. That was very tight. Like Victor landed that one kick, and you could see in his eyes he was like, "That's it, I win." And it possibly would work like that in a stadium setting, because you can see as well he was just moving away and just giving no thought to the punches that were bouncing off his head. Like he wasn't getting hurt by them. But you also just don't really know how they score in one championship. Like I feel like we should know at this point, but we don't.
It's still like a
And like maybe you don't know if, like, I feel like especially if you look at it in more of like an MMA setting, one guy retreating like that, I don't think will reflect well on him in the scores.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think so.
Whether or not that's correct.
But it's funny with like Victor as well, because he works for one. He's done. Was it him? he's done the commentary kind of work.
I think that's Antoine.
It's Antoine? Yeah.
Maybe they both have. They both like models over there. And, yeah.
They're handsome.
They're handsome dudes, yeah.
But like, it just kind of makes it things like, you kind of in the operation, the workings of it. You kind of got an idea how they score, what they're looking at, but it just kind of seemed like, set.
Then again, he's had tons of fights, so like it's very difficult to retrain. Yeah, like but it's also like he's fought in Glory. He's fought like his brother. I believe they've both fought in like Thai fight and those very similar formats to one. I just like again. He probably won this fight. Look, I've only watched it the once, so I see there's a good argument that he won. But can you really whinge if you just like really trying to take the whole last minute of a fight off in a 3-round fight? I don't think you can. Maybe that's how
you place it all on top of one shot.
Yeah, maybe the judges are like, no, fuck you. Maybe that's in the scoring system. They're just like, nah, you want to dance off, you can.
Maybe. It might be.
3 rounds, man. You can do 9 minutes of work. Fucking hell.
That's it. Definitely. That's like, it's like, I think I don't think it could have taken away too much, just to put a little bit more, hammer on the end of that round. Just go, I'm just gonna make sure.
But especially it's like you land a decent kick like that, came up high sort of over his guard. Then you're just gonna retreat and just give him full chance to recover and go and snatch the round back. It's just not in a 3-round fight.
I even felt a little bit in the second round when he knocked him down. He took his gas. He felt off the pedal a little bit again.
A little bit, yeah. It's very like, he's just sort of got that idea of like once he gets a lead, he holds the lead, not like continues to try to win the fight. Which like, there's some sense to that. There's some logic to it. It's like, look, when we have the dancing off conversation, it's also like, I would say, I don't generally think it's necessary, in particular if it's a 5-round fight. It's not like bad corner advice to be like, you're way up on points, just be smart.
Yeah.
Like, just teep and kick. Like, just
especially
play the outside.
If the other guy goes, I'm down, I'm going to try and snatch them.
Yeah, because that's not dancing the fight off. That's just controlling the fight and holding your lead. What he's doing is not that. He's trying to exit and completely disengage the fight, which in any kind of more Western format, it's like you're just rolling the dice. Like you're throwing away a lot of the work that I don't think most trainers would be training a guy to do that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like you would be like, if I was watching that, even if I thought my guy won, I'd be pissed off at him.
4th round.
That's the other thing, man. Like this is, we see this a lot with Thais that struggle to transition over and stuff like that. Like the whole point of 3 rounds is to eliminate periods of inactivity. Whether or not you like that, I know a lot of people don't. I prefer 5-round fights, but you feel like when you sign up for it, you know what you're doing. Yeah. It's not like you can't take a rest round first. You can't
bring a 5-round mentality into a 3-round.
Cannot, no. And like really, these days you probably shouldn't even take that dance off mentality into a 5-round fight. But you got 9 minutes to work. Like you've had however many fights. Like I think you can stay switched on for 9 minutes.
Definitely.
Good fight though.
Good fight. Yeah, go watch it. So going on next, I think. Yeah. So I got Joe Nattawut versus Yurik Davtyan. So this was an alternate bout for the kickboxing tournament. From that one. It's a fair bit removed from when the other guys fought, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it was the same day.
All together?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, there we go. One. Nice.
I think they advertised this as pre-recorded. I don't think that's a secret, yeah.
Cool. Well, fair enough then.
Maybe, I don't know.
We're just holding it off for so long.
I just feel like generally, like, how last night there was like some reasonable number of fights, like 7 or something?
Yeah.
When they do those cards, they did it all in one day before. Like when it looks like a half-size card.
Yes.
When it only has a main card.
You
know what I mean? Like, how like when you watch a live show, it's got like 9 billion fights. Like a lead card and main card.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you watch these ones, that's what I've been noticing is like when you watch these cards that just have like a real compact number of fights. Yeah.
Okay.
But because like when they first made the poster for First Strike, it had all these alternate fights on it.
Yes. And then, that's what we talked about. Okay, where's the alternate fights?
And then when the fight day came, they obviously just had nothing on the bill for a couple of weeks. So it's whatever. Yeah. I didn't see any spoilers, so I was like,
it's all right.
Whatever. Show me when. But this is the thing. I was talking to the guys about this the other day. It's like, it annoys me when I know it's pre-recorded and it starts at 11:30 because it's like, can I just have it?
Yeah, it's like, why are we doing this?
Can we adjust it on time zone? Like, I know it's got to start.
You go into, it's like, oh, it's on live. It's like, not really.
Yeah.
It's like a live replay.
Yeah, so why don't we just like drop it?
Drop it
for different countries at different times. Yes. If it's not actually live.
That's it. That's exactly right. But like going into the fight as well, Smoking Joe, like KO.
Smoked.
Man. What did you reckon of this match? Like Joe, like
I feel like Joe did to Yurik what like you would think Yurik would do. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
I mean, like, not to say it was like. It wasn't stylistically unusual of Joe Nattawut. He is very heavy-handed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought, I was interested to watch this fight. I've only seen Yurik fight a couple of times since he's been in one, but I hear a lot of good things about him and
Tim Fisher's boys?
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. And he knocked out Bang Plinoy in his first one fight, but didn't just knock him out, knocked him into another universe, probably sent him back in time. Massively heavy-handed, disgustingly heavy-handed is Yurik, and I don't know. I feel like looking at the nature of Joe Nattawut's skill set, maybe he would have played a little bit more of a kick center because he's a big kicker. That's what that's what his whole viral thing was when he first started fighting in the States, was he was kicking people. Mm-hmm. A lot of high kick KOs, but he sat in the pocket and. I don't know if he boxed with Yurik, but he punched with Yurik. Yeah. But I think Yurik fights like a dude with really heavy hands.
Gotta believe in him
for good reason. Yeah, exactly right. And I thought kind of when Yurik took that very aggressive step into the pocket to kind of swing the hands, Joe Nattawut obliged him, just planted his feet and put that shot over the top. Yes. Really blindsided him. Mm-hmm. Because you watch that slow-mo replay and you can just see Nattawut's time. This was a timing thing. Nattawut's a big puncher, but this was just timing. He caught Yurik when he had really put his whole body into not just the punch, but the entry. He was quite open. Again, you get used to people retreating. That was the biggest thing, is that Nattawut didn't retreat that punch, and she just met him head on.
Yeah, just car crash.
Clocked him, and that was that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad to see. This was the real interesting alternate for me, because I don't want to see anyone out of that tournament, but if either of those two end up in it, I would have been, that still would have been pretty spicy.
Yeah.
And it's good. Off of that performance, I'll give me Nattawut versus any of those dudes.
Oh, I love watching Nattawut fight. Yeah.
He's just one of these dudes. I feel like ever since he was in Lion Fight, it was sort of you don't really feel like he's ever the guy that's getting that push, if you know what I mean. But he's always there.
He is. Yeah. He's just always on the peripheral of the performance that he puts out, I'm just surprised. Yeah, he hasn't been pushed a little bit more to the front of the line.
I mean, he got a push when he was in Lion Fight, because he's based in the States somewhere, I believe. And then he was just who else in America's? Especially
he's just killing people.
Yeah, against Holden Kennedy. So he was definitely the man over on that side. But I feel in that more the more populous one championship setting, he's kind of there as he's sort of been positioned a little bit as a gatekeeper. Maybe I'm wrong. That's sort of how I kind of feel. But he's smoking fools over there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, hopefully we get to see more action. It's like you said, maybe someone drops out and you get to run in, and might be a dark horse.
Well, here's my question, actually. Mm-hmm. So there was 2 alternate fights on this card.
Yes.
Did they progress to fight each other? In the, do they make another alternate, a semi-final? That would make sense, right?
Yeah. So the other match was Zhang Changyu versus Dividas Rimkas. That
Best haircut in the tournament.
That's a mean bowl cut.
Yes.
Didn't see. I didn't get time to watch.
Yeah, I had to skip this one too.
So I don't even know the result.
Sorry,
of the
boy.
fight.
Actually, I have no idea. We're terrible podcast.
I think I gotta find amount of time to research.
Look it up.
Yeah, just look it up quickly.
If I should have thought of that in my pre-show research.
But it is a fight that it did kind of like it was just kind of there. It wasn't like pushed too much either. So.
Yeah, this is kind of like the background fight.
So
there was an incredible walkout.
That's a toga.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, all right, fair enough then. But I don't remember seeing highlights of this kind of being pushed out either.
Yeah, this highlight that I'm seeing right now doesn't even have the result, but I think Davidas Rumkus won.
Well, it looks like him just beating up.
Yeah, that is what this highlight looks like. That's my live reaction. Yeah, I'll go back and watch that one.
Yeah,
tonight. But yeah, look, it's cool. I like these. This is again, we talked at length about the first strike card. Like, it gets more interesting when you see what's going on, because you know that. Look, how often do you see one of these tournaments where there's not some kind of weird shake-up? It's a lot.
Yeah.
But when you know that the level of these reserve fights is here, because it's kind of like, it's interesting, because these guys in the reserve fights become kind of dark horses. Like, if you told me someone's injured and Joe Nattawut's in the tournament, I'm not writing him off.
Definitely not.
Yeah, so...
He's got a very good chance.
Really good chance, so...
Be good, like, if you got Chingers versus Nattawut.
Good fight.
That one. Like, actually, there's like, you could put him with anyone.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get a stinker.
No, he's got a good style for kickboxing too.
Yeah, definitely
Works.
So let's go into the main event there. So we had Saemapetch versus Rittewada from there, and like this is like really interesting fight from that, and like it ended up being like Rittewada winning by via elbow cuttage from their stoppage. But like but before that moment from there, like Saemapetch was putting a bit of work onto him as well.
Yeah, I talked to a few people before this fight. What do you think? Saemapetch will win. I just think people don't know Littewada that well. Like, I didn't
think he would be that much bigger. He's huge.
Yeah, but he's also like, I think Littewada is a funny one because he's a little bit of an unknown, but he's like on this like if you know the scene well, Littewada is like one of the best female of this generation. But he's taken a lot of time off. Yeah. He's been away. He came back this year and actually lost in his stadium comeback to Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari Fairtex. But before that, like, he hadn't fought in about 3 years. And the kind of last year he was competing were at like kind of a mid-level in China. So he's been away from the elite levels of Muay Thai for a while. I wasn't actually expecting Saemapetch to give Littewada that much trouble. Like in the first round. Because I think a lot of people were picking Saemapetch. Saemapetch's been really right in front of everyone. Yep. He's like the go-to guy. People. He's the go-to guy, really, Saemapetch.
Yeah.
Like when you need to fill a big fight.
He brings a big fight.
Yeah, and he had that good stoush with Nongo not long ago. People know Saemapetch, they know he's a tank. I think Littewada was kind of seen by some of the people that mostly just watch one as like somewhat unheralded. Yep. But like Littewada's a guy.
Very good.
I was in the paper with Littewada once. Remember?
Oh yeah. It's like, just in there.
Yeah.
Sneaking in. There you go. But like the fight itself from there, like like Saemapetch knocked down Littewada in the first round with a right hook.
Yeah,
and that's like, and it seemed like the right hook a couple of times gave him
the right hook was his shot in this fight. Yeah, and because you can see like when Saemapetch's on, like he's just got that little fucking tank build.
Yeah, there's no more kicks happening. He's
and I thought like he did a good job. Like Littewada is so big.
Yes.
For that 65 kilo weight class. No, he's big. But in the stadiums, he used to fight even lighter than that, I think.
Jesus Christ, that's unfair.
Yeah, and he's just got these, like, he's one of those dudes that he's got a frame where he can cut weight really well. Like, you see, he's got no midsection and these big, wide shoulders and skinny arms. Very technical fighter. Like, really. His fights with Nattawut, they fought 3 times. One of them actually came off my Facebook memories the other day. I watch them all the time. Like, they're some of my favourite fights. They're so good, so tricky and technical. He stopped Nattawut twice. and decisioned him once, but these are really good. He's got some wicked elbow KOs, but he's very versatile. Good kicks. He stops and fights with low kicks too. So just a very versatile kind of technical fighter. Saemapetch did a really good job of fighting inside his range.
Yes.
Like, and that's where that right hook I thought was coming from. Like, he was leaning that well. Dropped him well. Like, dropped him.
Yeah, it was clean.
Yeah. But then almost dropped him again.
Yeah, it was like a second time just really got off balance, but he just had his feet just enough underneath him.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of coming in for that shot again as they were towards the fence, that Littewada turned over. And it was kind of like a real kind of like deep sit down. So the elbow bite. I saw a lot of people in this, like, you've got to do a rematch straight away, but I think you're misunderstanding what. Like, that elbow was to cut.
So, like, so going on to, like, you know, like, elbow, like, stoppages by, like, cuts from elbows and things like that. Like, what, you feel like the general people have a feel like, you know, it's like a lucky shot, or it's like, you know, it's like, you know, it's an unfortunate stoppage instead of being like a big KO.
But what's the difference between that and, like, if that elbow had dropped Saemapetch and he couldn't answer the count, no one would say they should rematch. Yeah. Because Saemapetch was winning until he lost. Like, like, but also that elbow was to cut. Yes. Like that's what that was an elbow to open, and like because you look at the cut it opened and the angle that it struck at, like that's a strategy game. The strategy to cutting someone.
It's not like they were like in clinching, he just goes a little nick.
Yeah, it's not like he just ran into him. Like, he placed it, caught him when he was coming in, happy with his hands. I thought in the first round, mate. Look, I'm interested to see Littewada fight again. Like I said, he's one of my favourites, and I'm not sure if maybe the 4-ounce gloves, first time in those, kind of made a difference. Yep.
I'm sure, like, it's like he's a very smart guy. That next time out he'll feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, because I was talking to Aaron about the fight this morning, and he made the point as well. Like, the time that Littewada, you know how Thai fighters often take a break from the Muay Thai scene to kind of do that sort of army amateur boxing. That's what Littewada was doing. Yeah, that's what Littewada was doing.
Okay.
Which is great. Like, gives them a lot to, you know, kind of a different layer, a different dimension to their skills. But neither kind of Olympic formatted boxing or stadium Muay Thai is really great prep for fighting in 4-ounce gloves. But it was also like, what is?
Just
card check. You just got to do it. So, look, an interesting start and not an easy start in terms of the quality of matchup or just like the way it played out. I'm fascinated to see what happens next for Littewada. Because, like I said, I think if you match those in like more of a stadium format, especially like, you know, if you take the Littewada from 2016 to 2018, I would probably favour Littewada quite heavily in that. But yeah, so let's see what happens the next time he gets in there in the little gloves. Because there's a few factors. Well, I'm pretty sure this is Littewada's only his first or second fight for Petch in D as well.
Okay, change of camp.
Yeah,
recently.
So, like, you know, that's great as far, especially being in like a Western not a Western organization, but, you know, an international talent pool. That it's very helpful to have those resources to sort of make the adjustments. So, like, give them more time with him, get a little bit more used to the little gloves. I'm fascinated to see Littewada because I think he's going to get a push. I think it seems like that he's one of these dudes. Generally, if you're under the Petch in D banner, you're getting a push from the bosses, which is good. I saw 3 ideas presented by Muay Thai Results for what should be next. The options were a Saemapetch rematch, which I don't really. I mean, I'm never one to be like, do that fight again straight away, regardless of result. Sometimes I can see the logic, but to me, I'm like, I just watched that.
Yeah.
Let's do something else. I get it. It's quite like a. I don't know. Maybe it's not like a real like Thai style thing.
I think a lot of people are just really quick to jump the gun, like, you know, during rematches.
Yeah.
Like, it's I guess it's a boxing thing. It's also like an MMA thing a little bit as well. Like, for like these kind of really, really big fights. But the fight itself, you could do a rematch, but I didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I'm not mad if it's a rematch. I'll watch it again. But it's not my first pick. The other options were a title fight with Nongo. Yeah, down for that. Again, I don't know if, like, I reckon they're gonna put him in once more or twice more before he fights.
Probably it's like you want a little bit more of a build.
But also, I don't think that fight will get made. They generally don't like Nongo is a Petchin D boy.
Okay.
Like way back. He doesn't train there right now, but he's a Petchin D boy, and generally they don't like to do those matches. So, like, who is the other Petchin D guy that they? I don't know. There was definitely one proposed matchup not that long ago where both Petchin D was like, I don't want any of my guys to fight. Nongo. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make that fight. And the other option was Tawanchai.
Oh, yeah, do that.
Dude. Yeah, I'd love the Nongo fight. I just don't think you're going to see.
Well, like, you know, that could then, like, Tawanchai, and that could be a contenders match. But, like, if you don't want to fight, what's the end path then?
That's a very interesting question. As to. It was Capitan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why Capitan is the kickboxing champion.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? Yeah.
True.
So yeah, it's an interesting question because obviously Petchin D positioned these guys to go into one championship. It does make you wonder what, because now, like, what, you're not going to send him to go fight Capitan for the kickboxing belt either. I don't know. But then again, like, actually, he's kind of stuck. With you a big dude, he could go up to 70 kilos, but the 70 kilo champion is Petch Monaco.
It's like, yeah. So what are we doing here, guys?
I don't know. But this is the thing. I feel like this is like one championship as well. Like, that more Thai style matchmaking is like, we don't need the titles to be excited about. Make all the fun matches. Maybe if they don't want to fight Nongo for the titles, that's a great fight.
It's a great fight.
If they want to do it, cool. But if they're not going to do it, it's not like we need to be like, I'm not going to be interested in Littewada's fights unless it's for the belt. Who cares about the belt?
That's true. I just always think about, like, you know, when you go for a championship belt, become champion, like, you know, just get better money as well.
Yeah.
I guess, like, you know, as you kind of, like, you know, fight for a stable from there, you get what you get.
Yeah, and I mean, I can understand why Petchin D would not want to put anyone in with Nongo. Like, one of the kind of foundation guys, you know, so.
Yeah, that's all right. You gotta just wait the time out.
Yeah, I mean, like, Nongo's got to retire eventually, right?
Eventually.
Then they just slot the next Petchin D dude in there.
That's how it seems. They got on lock.
Yeah.
All right, and that does the one event as well from there. But yeah, and like overall, it's good. It's good. I don't know when's the next one proposed.
I saw a card. They posted. I get confused on the dates because they changed their mind about when these fights are going to be.
Didn't they have some problems with, like, Singapore?
Yeah, there has been some issues there.
Yeah.
I think, is it next week? I got the poster here. Next Gen 2. Oh no, that just happened. That was Next Gen 2. I saw the last poster because I know Aliverdi Ramazadov is fighting Pong Siri.
Oh.
And the main event is MMA, so I don't remember the name.
Pong Siri.
Pong Siri coming off a good performance in Wando.
Yeah.
Against
I still imagine him to be very small against Amazon.
Oh, maybe like Ramazanov is freakishly like. Oh, Next Gen 3 is on the 26th of November. And yeah, has Ramazanov versus Pong Siri. I don't know who the MMA guys are, but that's an alright fight.
It's like, yeah, like, and that would be Ramazan's first one after that knockout loss he had.
Yep. Yeah. Since Capitan took the belt from him.
Yep.
Yeah. So
is that a kickboxing fight?
Good question. It is not a kickboxing fight. It's a Muay Thai fight.
Small gloves. Okay. Cool. I look forward to.
You got a tip there?
Well, I'm gonna go. Like Pong Siri though. No, I'm gonna go Ramazan.
Yeah, I think it's probably Ramazan's fight.
Man.
He's like, such a big dude.
He's a fucking huge.
He's really good.
He is.
And really big.
Really big. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just got that awkward kind of like tempoing and movement that, like, you know, you think you're going one way, but then all of a sudden there's a fist in your face.
And can kind of knock you out from everywhere.
Yeah.
That's like kind of the scariest thing. Like, he's got this kind of like awkward knockout power.
Yep.
Yeah. Good fight though. Pong Siri's is grapple.
Yeah. Right, and I don't think there's much else, is there?
Look, there probably is. that I'm forgetting. But
might be, but it's a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. What's happening in the gym world? What's going on there? Some updates?
Got 2 boys making pro debuts.
Yeah.
So we got Kai making his pro debut against Petch from Muaythai Temple, and we have Luke Taylor making his pro debut against Ollie Hale.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like,
I tell you what, I talked to Ollie Hale yesterday, and he got told he was fighting Luke from Double Dragon.
Yep.
And he was like, "Fuck, man, Luke's lost some weight, huh?" Like,
how far back you go?
He thought he was fighting Luke Thompson.
Damn.
He goes, "Yeah, I thought, fuck, that dude must have lost a ton of weight." And I was like, "Bro, he's 100 kilos."
Yeah, it's like
they're coming down to 70
kilos. He'd be like, he'd be totally emancipated.
He was like, "Bro, I was kind of scared." I go, "Yeah." Like,
yeah, if it was like, Thompson coming down from 100, he'd be very scared.
I mean, he'd have no legs, so you'd have that, but
he's just gonna fight you on his knees.
Well, yeah, no, that sounds the Sydney card's coming together pretty nice.
No, it looks really good. From there, it's like, and I think there's a few more pro bouts coming out from that one, but like everyone's probably seen the headliners, and that's great.
Yeah,
it's gonna
be a really fun top 2.
Big day,
long day.
I saw like the amateur and development day list, and there's also a juniors one. That's gonna be a huge day.
Big day. Yeah. I think I'm probably gonna have a lot to do that day as well.
That's it. Like you are gonna be doing a bit of RNJing, maybe a bit of commentary.
I'll do everything that I get asked to do. So Trevor Lawler / Andrew Boughanem. Get in touch.
Yeah. All right, fool. Well, let's call it this week. All right, so always like, subscribe, share the podcast as always from there. All right, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.
Peace.